In 2023, I was staying in a small town on the southern coast of Sri Lanka called Weligama, and I was living in a rented house with 4 other people. On the 11th of May, in the evening, it was just an evening like any other, I went out onto the balcony, and in the sky I could see a flashing object. Now it looked like a drone, and I could count about 9 lights, and they were all flashing in different multicolored patterns. I thought, oh, someone's like hovering a drone over the bay. It was perfectly still. Anyway, I went back inside. An hour later or something, I went back onto the balcony, and it was still there in the same place. I thought, that's weird. You know, it's pretty weird. It looked exactly the same. It was doing the same thing, exactly the same place. Could see the individual lights, and it was about a 45-degree angle from my view. So I called my friends out. I said, hey, come and have a look at this. What do you think that is? Is that a drone? And we talked about it for a bit. They were looking at it. Yeah, it's probably a drone. I was like, is it a helicopter maybe? Because it just didn't look exactly like a drone. It looked pretty weird because the lights were so sort of randomly and chaotically flashing. But we came to the consensus that it must be a drone. Anyway, later on I went back out onto the balcony. This is probably 2 hours since I first saw it at 8:30. And it was still there in exactly the same place. I thought, hey, that's really weird. What sort of drone hovers? What are they doing? I don't know much about drones. I didn't at the time. Anyway, I went back inside and I did a little bit of research, and I was like, how long can a drone hover for? I'm talking about, like, you know, drones people have with the little lights. And I came up with nothing that could explain how a drone could be hovering there for multiple hours. I was looking and looking, and I kept looking, and I couldn't find anything about anything man-made that can hover for over 2 hours. So by this point, it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I go back out onto the balcony, and it's still there in exactly the same place, doing exactly the same thing. I think, what the hell? This is really weird. So I go back inside, and I'm kind of interested about this, and I'm doing the research, and I can't find any information about something that can hover for that long. A standard consumer drone certainly can't. By this point, it's been in the air for maybe, I don't know, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 2, 3 hours, 11:30. It's still there. So I don't know what to think, you know? That's really strange. It definitely wasn't a star, you know, get out star map. It definitely wasn't a helicopter. There was no noise. And it definitely wasn't a drone, because they can't hover for that long. Perfectly still as well, with the same flashing pattern, about 9 lights, individual lights. We did take videos and stuff of it, but predictably, it's just a blob on a black screen. And it's not really any use to anybody. But there are some interesting things that I've managed to get from the videos and photos that I took, and maybe I'll share them at some point. But I've also got timestamps as well, so it does prove at least that it was there for an extended amount of time. Anyway, people are going to bed. It's probably about midnight. It's still there. I'm laying in bed, and it gets to 1:30 in the morning, and I'm drifting off to sleep. And I'm in my boxers, you know, and I'm thinking, I'm falling asleep. I'm going to go for a slash. And the bathroom door is right near the balcony. So I go for a slash, and I think, I'll just check one last time to see if it's there. Because if it isn't, It's weird, you know, what the hell was that? If it is, it's even weirder because it would have been in the air for 5 hours. So I go outside, I'm standing there and it's still there, I'm looking at it. And I'm thinking, man alive, this is so strange. What is that? What is that? And yeah, I'm just intrigued, you know. I think, I mean, I could pass this off as a UFO because I can't find anything about, you know, things that can hover for that long. It's super strange. But I'm like, yeah, well, you know, no one will ever believe me. So I'm standing there, I'm thinking, that's so weird. And I turn around to go back inside. I got my hand on the door. And something in my mind, I'm like, just have one last look, because what if it just shoots away or flies away or disappears or something? So I look over my shoulder. And when I've turned around, there's now a red, like, orb or almond-shaped thing in the sky. I'm like, what? My first thought is like it's a helicopter just flying through the air, you know, and that's that. But as I was staring at it, realized it wasn't a helicopter. It was just a glowing sort of almond eye-shaped red thing. And it was moving quite slowly towards the thing that's still there, flashing in the sky. I'm staring at it and I can see it's like, you know when you look at a laser, which don't do that, but if you do it at an angle, you can see like a sort of oscillating, scintillating kind of quality to the light. And it kind of looked like that, but it was glowing as well. Not like projecting light, it was like this strange glow. And I was like stunned, I was like, what? What is that? And it's making its way towards the thing. As I'm watching it, it stops dead still. And I'm just stunned. I'm like, what is going on here? This is crazy. And it disappears, right? Just totally disappears, vanishes. I'm just standing there in my boxers with my hand on the door, thinking, what should I do? I don't have my phone with me, but I was like, I don't want to miss anything, you know? So I just stood there. I was shocked, actually. I was stunned. And before I knew it, it appeared again, closer to the original thing, drone thing that was flashing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it starts moving towards the drone. I'm going to call it a drone, but it's not a drone. It starts moving towards the flashing diamond thing in a zigzaggy pattern. And it's stopping, it's starting, it's going up straight like that, it's going down like that, all the while making its way towards this thing. And I'm just thinking, what's going on? I can't believe it. It's UFOs. There's UFOs out here. Over Weligama in Sri Lanka, which, if you haven't heard of it, it's just a sort of town, you know, right on the coast. And a lot of surfers and stuff go there. There's not much going on, it's pretty small. And that's it. But there's this strange thing happening in the sky. Over the bay, that was the direction. So this thing is moving in these strange patterns. Zigzagging, stopping, up, down, towards the thing. And it's getting closer and closer to it. And it gets right up. I'm thinking, right, it's communicating with this thing. It's investigating it. And it gets right up close to it. And it's almost touching it. And it starts moving around it slightly. And I'm just thinking, this is wild. I'm not even thinking that. I'm just stunned, shocked. I can't believe it. I'm actually sort of frozen to the spot. And it gets so close to it, the original thing, the flashing thing, starts vibrating like this and flashing really like wildly. And then it just shoots up away from it, the red one, and stops dead still. And the red one's still there. And I'm just watching this scene for a couple seconds, like with my mouth open. And then the red thing just zooms away back the direction it came from until I can't see it anymore, over the sort of horizon, hills, rooftops, and on the curve of the bay. And the other thing is just in its new, slightly different position, doing the same thing. So I'm stunned. I'm totally stunned. And I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes. And I'm staring at the thing that's flashing. And it's like, by this point, I don't know, 1:40 a.m. The whole thing lasted about 5-7 minutes. And I'm thinking, shall I wait here if something else happens? But I don't. I'm so tired and confused. And I go and lay down. And eventually drift off to sleep. I woke up at around 4:30 in the morning, and I thought, I got to check. And I went outside and it was still there. In the morning, I wake up, I'm really excited, and I go outside and the sky is just normal, nothing's there. And I don't know what to think. I think I've just seen 2 UFOs. I mean, if that thing was some sort of drone that they figured out how to get to hover for 8 hours, what the other thing was, God only knows. But it was right, they were right in the atmosphere, not atmosphere, but they were right down low. It's hard to estimate exactly how far away they were, but there were wispy tropical clouds well behind them. So, you know, you could see the clouds passing behind them. That's that. That's the UFO story. That's what I saw. That's what happened. And that thing was hovering in the sky for at least 8 hours. So, yeah. I saw 2 UFOs in Weligama, Sri Lanka on the 11th of May, 2023. And one of them was hovering in the sky for 8 hours. And there were 4 other witnesses to the hovering one for a few hours. So that's the story. Whether you believe me or not, it doesn't really matter. But that changed my life. So, to be clear, there is nothing that we know of that can hover for 8 hours in one place, flashing like that. So what are the implications? The implications are profound. If that thing was man-made, it means that basically everything we know about this reality is up for question. It means that somewhere, somehow, a group of people have access and control to a type of technology that is completely apart from everything else that everyone else knows is possible. It means that they have control and access to free energy or 0-point energy, some sort of anti-gravity, and who knows what else technology. And it's being kept from us. And it might have been being kept from us for an extremely long time. That kind of technology could change every single person on Earth's life. You know, whilst all of these wars happen and we're fighting over oil and paying for petrol and people are suffering horribly, there is a group of people that have access to a technology that could drastically change all of that. The suffering one is an important one. That's the one that really gets my goat, as it were. And they've probably got a lot of goats, actually, thinking about it, but whatever. There's something going on that is akin to mass control unlike anything that you can imagine. It changes everything. Now, if the thing wasn't man-made, then that's pretty crazy too, right? But I'm not sure what the implications of that are. The implications are, it's not man-made, but some men know about it and are keeping it from us. I mean, the web of lies here, after you see something like this, the house of cards comes down and the web grows. It's extreme. But yeah, if it wasn't man-made, then either no one knows about it, but that's not true because I've seen it and I know about it, which is what I'm trying to tell people about here, or someone does know about it and they're keeping that from us too. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because I've seen it. I wasn't mistaken. And I'm trying to get that information out there. I can't just keep it to myself. This is real. This is real. And there's something going on. And I don't think people are doing enough to just try and tell people. There's all this talk of UFOs and UAPs and all of this stuff, but nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. No one's actually saying, well, what's going on then? If it's real, we demand to know about it. But clearly, it's a lot more deep than just the presidents and the prime ministers and all of that stuff. But again, that's quite obvious. So we need to do something about that. Documents and all of this shit, forget all of that. Demand the truth. Find out what's going on here, because it's real and we're essentially living in an illusion. Your school books, your science books, it's all bullshit. The stuff your teachers are telling you, it's not the full picture. None of it is. So these are the implications, right? I've seen behind the curtain, and the implications for me are something that I haven't quite figured out yet, but I've ended up here and I'm talking about it on YouTube. So I don't know what that implies, but it's something, you know. I'm not crazy and I'm not an irrational man. I've seen this and I know it's real. So I know there are other people out there. Believe me, when I got back and did my research, the internet is full of UFO stuff, but there's something missing. There's something missing. There's not enough being said about what it actually implies. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. The implications affect every single person on this planet, and we are living in an illusion, essentially. And I want to know what else is deemed impossible there isn't actually. So why am I here? I've left everything behind. And this path is totally uncertain, and I don't know what the future holds. But when you see something like that, it totally breaks your understanding of what life is. It changes your life. And I had to try and do something about it. So I've come back to the part of the world, and my idea was to document a journey trying to find more people who have seen something like I've seen, where I know that it is, I wasn't going to go to Sweden to do it. I came back to Asia because it's out here. It's out in Weligama, or it was, which is strange because there's not much going on there. So God knows what it was doing there. If it was a sort of human thing, a military test, I don't know. But there's, what does that imply? What significance does Weligama have? There's so many questions. And when you go back home and you see that there's a grand illusion, it's difficult to stay there. So I don't know where this path will lead me, but I know that I'm supposed to walk it. And yeah, I wanted to speak to people, I wanted to connect with people. If anyone has seen anything like I've seen, get in touch, let me know. I want to build a community of truth seekers rather than obfuscators, just trying to find out really what this is and what's going on. I want to be part of that, I think I've got a part to play because I am, for want of a better word, an experiencer, a witness. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm hoping to find some answers. It's a vague idea, but I know it's real, so it's just one foot in front of the other until there's a clearer picture and a clearer understanding. And I want to tell people, and I want to let people know that, you're not alone and you're not crazy. And also, even if you haven't seen anything, I wanted to get the message out as just a regular guy, not some dude behind a paywall or some weird document, that this is real and we're probably being lied to. I mean, let's face it, we are being lied to. We are being lied to, and we don't need to accept that. We don't need to accept that. There is something we can do, because I think that we are more powerful than whoever is keeping the secrets. And we just need to realize that. So, yeah, get in touch. Let me know. I don't know. YouTube's a weird thing. It's not exactly what I thought I'd end up doing, but it's fun to document it. I like making videos. And maybe this will find the right people. I hope so. And I think it could do. But yeah, that's the story, that's the implications, and that's why I'm here. But the implications are the important thing. They are extreme. And so if there's anything you get from this video, I'd just like you to think about what the implications are of something that could hover for 8 hours. Forget whether you forget whether you believe me or not. Just look up what technology can hover for 8 hours and see what you think. And then think about what I said, because it's real. It's real. And it's happening on this planet. Our planet. Yes.